I know you guys live in the same area, so how do you make that work for rehearsing?
Yeah.
Well,
it really doesn't.
we get some concerts. We get there, day before, and we do these ridiculously long marathon rehearsals, and then we play.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it. And the thing that always worries me about that, and we've never had this problem, is when you practice so much, and especially the day of the concert, you feel like you peaked, and then you go and you play, and then you just kind of flat. But we seem to
thrive on it now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of ended up just sort of being our method.
Yeah, and it's we get that question a lot actually, but because it is unusual. I think it's pretty unusual, but because I don't know if we've said I'm in Minnesota, Kevin's in Alabama, Steve's here in Kentucky, and Matt's in Florida, and there's no easy way to do that. But we were all in Tallahassee, Florida for about a year, I think, rehearsing all the time. And then, as we graduated and got jobs and moved away, we sort of started to scatter. I think Matt was the first one. He got a job in Miami, so he left. But we just kept it going. So we sort of gradually got used to just this weird schedule, where we get together maybe every month and a half or something, and we've been doing that for 5 years maybe now?
Yeah. It just feels natural now. I can't imagine someone having described that to us, 5 or 6 years ago as the process, but it feels fun.
Do you guys think that year of working together constantly really helped you develop as an ensemble to the point where you can just pick it up now?
I would imagine.
I guess
it helped, but we all moved apart before our first recording. And I feel, anyway, that in the couple of months coming up to that first recording is when everything really started to click with us, making that foundation for our ensemble. And we all agree now, we've begun to move on from that first recording, where we start to feel like it's something that's a snapshot in time from that moment, and we're looking back on it, and we just get excited about the next project to get this next CD recorded. So we've really never known anything as far as, at least say, our professional careers as a quartet, where we've all lived in the same place. And we all know that it's coming, say a gig or a project is coming up, and we do our best to show up prepared and ready to go, and ready to rehearse for a long time. We usually give ourselves a little carrot and stick, like Matt. It's best when we rehearse at Matt's, because he usually has some kind of amazing meat on the barbecue all day long.
That was difficult to your house.
Yeah.
Slow and low.
Slow and low.
That's right.
So you just
Good for meat and practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You're welcome.
I always think if we lived in the same place, we'd probably kill each other. But this works for us.
How do you guys split up parts?
Oh,
Just kind of whatever.
Thunderdome style. Next. No, I think I don't know. It just sort of there's no first chair, second chair. There's nothing like that. We've never done that. We just sort of work it out. Like if one person is really drawn to a particular part for some reason, they might just claim it. Like, man, I would love to do second part on this piece. Or if like, I don't know, back when I was the one with the raised neck, I had the easier access to the really high notes, because I had Humphrey, and I would sometimes get the part that has those high notes just because it's easier to play, But yeah, we just sort of work it out. It's not.
yeah.
The music for four guitars isn't like string quartet music too, where
You're right.
usually the parts in terms of difficulty are usually about the same.
Yeah,
I mean, it depends on what the piece is, but if there's something real juicy that one of us really wants to play, there's really never any kind of argument. You just call the part.
Yeah. It's interesting too. Sometimes it's the composer that establishes, because we always perform in this order, and being the couple of idiots that we are, we like to walk around in this order a lot of times just to kind of get that concert vibe going before a show.
That's how together we are.
That happens accidentally.
That does happen accidentally.
We are drawn to this position.
It's really
it happens. Go to McDonald's. Go to.
We sit at tables in restaurants this way.
Yeah, which is weird because it's usually a four-top. So
right.
We have a table and
right.
Anyway.
But in that case, with Apostolos having written the piece already, he had certain antiphonal effect that was going on between parts sometimes, or imitative entrances and things like this. So we just told him, look, this is the way we sit. We're comfortable always sitting in this order, from stage left to stage right, or stage right to stage left. And what do you have a preference, since the parts are set, where they fall? And that's how we ended up with the parts for that piece. Mm-hmm. Because he said, I want this order, this specific order set up on stage. So
that's a fairly unusual case, though.
Right.
Normally we just kind of go for a part that we want, and it just sort of falls pretty naturally.
Do you have any tips for other ensembles or other chamber music ensembles for rehearsing?
Well, know your part really, really, really well.
Yeah.
And, that's really it. And then you can always work everything else out.
Yeah. And to the extent possible, not only know your part, but how it fits within the fabric of the ensemble. Because there are so many times when we rehearse that what we're really working on is the stuff beyond just knowing our part, and we're working on molding the piece itself, and really being efficient with our practice time, and having an agenda and knowing what we're doing at any given minute is super important.
I think, and I also think if you're going to be in an ensemble, you need to have all the members communicating. It's like a relationship. You want everyone to be on the same page. You don't want someone trying to direct the ensemble in some way and then have one of the other players like murmuring to themselves. You don't want that. That can be fairly destructive. So, and it's good. It's good to have all members talking to each other and what they feel about a piece, because not everyone likes the same type of crescendo at the same type of spot in a piece or something, And so you got to sort of talk it out and hash it out, maybe defend your ideas a little bit. But then you also got to, again, like a relationship, you got to know when to sort of compromise and say, all right, well, I'll back off here. I don't completely agree, but it'll always sound better if everyone's on the same page, so I'll do it. And that's very important, I think, just as an overall idea for an ensemble.
And sometimes working with a recording, either say if it's a transcription or recording of the original, or recording ourselves and listening back to it, it's a great way to make these decisions, because sometimes we're trying to make a point with words, sometimes, all the time. When the four of us communicate, it usually takes like 20 minutes to say something that could be said in 2, because we all speak of...
We all got our doctorates, so we're all morons. Yeah. So it's way better to just do it and then listen and then decide.
Yeah.
Well, you could be objective that way too. When you're listening to something and you're playing and it's a little harder.
True. Yes.
Right. Yeah. Objectively know that someone else's idea is stupid.
You see? It sucks.
Told you.
Told you. A lot of told you so. That's important. Get as many of those in as you can.
But then we all agree on meat later on. Smoked meats.
That's true.
Yeah, it's just fine.
End of the day, it's you're going to get together with some cigars.
That's what it's all about. Yeah. That's why I'm still in here.
That's why we're all here.
Yeah.
There you go.